In other words, sleep on the floor. And sleeping on the floor, not only is it the ultimate sleep, it's really has advantages that no amount of technology can provide as far as improving your sleep. Not only that, but it also gives us the opportunity to do a lot of primal movement that is missing from our modern lifestyles. So for instance, actually the very reason why, one of the biggest reasons why people object to sleeping on the floor is the fact that you have to get up and down. So that alone points to the fact that you're getting up and down means you're moving, and that's something that we're trying to avoid. Well, you know, in the rewilding movement, the primal paleo lifestyle movement, we're trying to add this healthy primal movement back into our lifestyle. So sleeping on the floor is really helpful for that. And that's why before I even show you anything about sleeping on the floor, I'm just going to demonstrate a very quick example of good versus not good primal movement for getting up and down. So, okay, so basically when you get up and down, it's a technique, maybe some people call it hip hinging. So the idea is that you don't want to use your back to round your back, because when you do that, it uses a weak part of your body that can get you out of balance and create injuries. So what we want to do is a healthy movement of similar to squatting, the way you would get down to squat, where you engage your glutes. So in other words, you stick your butt out and lengthen your spine, and when you bend down, your spine basically remains fairly straight. And so this is just a very quick example. I'm not going to go into detail because I have other things to cover, but something like this. So when you get up and down, it's very important to do it properly, otherwise it's not really, it may lead to injury. So something like that. Okay, so then getting down, so then when you're down, and I'm just on the bare floor here on a tatami mat for starters, just to demonstrate the up and down. So you're down, and then when you get up, you don't do this kind of thing. Like you can, but it's you know, it's a stressor. It's not the proper body mechanics. What you want to do is you want to roll over to your side and keep your back straight, as I already showed, and then push yourself up with your arms, and then keep your back straight, maybe on all fours. And then when you get up, now this is the trick, I'll do it real slow. When you get up, you know, you don't have to do it slow, but I'm just going to show you. So I'm keeping my glutes engaged, and then I'm getting up. So something like this. Down and up. Okay, okay, and now, okay, I'm going to show you the basic. Okay, so you can just make a, you know, pallet on the floor. You can get stuff you have around the house, and like quilts and blankets and pads and things, and you know, you just you can just use a lot of people use like 3 or 4 layers of like quilts, and you just put them down. And also, I mean, I'll just note that even before you start putting a bed down, I mean, think about your floor. Carpeting is terrible. It is ungrounding, and it also off-gases chemicals. So, you know, if you have carpeting, and you know, you're going to have to start somewhere, so go ahead and do it anyway. But I'm just saying, you know, for the ultimate, you want a natural floor, and made of natural materials, and also you can get this is a tatami mat, and this is a really nice surface to put down before you start putting your actual bedding. Okay, so so I'll just show you, you know, what I would, a makeshift bed that I would do if I was using the things that I just had around my house. And so, you know, I just lay out some quilts and okay. So, you know, you can start with like several layers, and then you can take off a layer after you've gotten used to sleeping somewhat on the somewhat firm surface, and you can keep making your surface firmer and firmer, and eventually when you get good at it, you know, you could be able to, like me, actually sleep on nothing, just the floor. You know, when you're in a pinch, you could just sleep on nothing and actually fall asleep and be comfortable. But that could be like, you know, way far away. Just we're all at different levels. So, you know, most people aren't anywhere near being able to do that. So I'm just saying that's as far as it's totally possible that we can do that and get to that place. And we need to start where we're at. And so here I have a couple of, you know, wool blankets here under here, and then you know, I put my sheets down and blankets on top of that. You know, I mean, it's pretty basic, but I just thought I'd point it out. I mean, this is all you actually need to create a paleo sleep, you know, environment for rewilding your sleep. So, and then the next, so if you know, it's important to have natural materials, just like I mentioned about the carpet. Synthetic materials are ungrounding. They short circuit the electric flow of our body, so you're not going to sleep as well with them. So if you're going to rewild your sleeping, it's not just a firm surface, but it's also an organic surface with non-synthetic materials and no metal, you know, like around you. So okay, so. So here would be, you know, my little pallet on the floor made from makeshift little things, and you know, it has a lot of advantages. Like, for instance, you know, if you you can make your bed as small or as big depending on how many people are sleeping, and also the fact that you can put your bed away because it's like nothing, so you can put it away during the day and create extra living space. So you know, on top of the fact that it's by far the most superior sleeping environment, it's also got some advantages that I just wanted to point out. So I would, like, you know, just make my bed just like any other, you know, almost like any other bed, just sheets and blankets and stuff, and it's not easy to find organic bedding, and especially wool, and it's also, you know, high end. So you know, a lot of people aren't able to, like, get it right away. So you can start with just what you have, even if it's not perfect, and work your way up. And so here is my little pallet on the floor, and this is what I do if I was just going to makeshift with things I had around my house. But after having done this for, like, you know, maybe 13 years, I've actually designed a few products that are conducive to this kind of sleeping, and so I'll show you what those are. And so I would put this away, and okay, so this is a paleo pad right here. And all it is just a glorified quilt, really. It's not very thick. It's like, you know, a ½ inch thick of organic wool felt, or eco wool felt, that's got an organic cotton case sewn around it. So that's a paleo pad, and I'm telling you, it's, you know, it's pretty solid. So it's like, it's not really, you know, it's just your most minimal padding. And so the paleo pad is something you can get from my website if you don't have something already that you like. And so okay, so that's the paleo pad, and I've also got some organic blankets and pillows and things too on the same website. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some techniques. Okay, so first off, first you want to know how to lie on your back, and you don't want a pillow to push your head forward. If you had a pillow that you put under your head and it pushed your head up like that, it would throw your neck out of alignment and hamper your breathing and create a forward jutting, slumped over posture. And a lot of people actually are so used to that posture that they think that's comfortable to have a pillow like that. But it's not in good alignment. It's so ideally your head should be flat on the same plane with the rest of your spine. When laying flat on the floor, you should be able to do this. And one thing that helps is if you get a pillow or bolster and put it under your knees like this, and when the knees are bent like that, it actually helps it changes the angle of the pelvis, and then that changes the angle of the spine and puts the right amount of curve in the spine. So putting a bolster under your knees can be very helpful. And then if you can have a pillow, but as long as the pillow doesn't tip up the back of your head, if it's just only for cervical support only, then that doesn't hurt anything with the alignment. And the Japanese actually have this certain kind of pillow. That's what this is. It's a buckwheat Japanese pillow that is for just to support your neck, not to push your head anywhere. So this is laying on your back position, and then there's also, of course, side sleeping, which most people do that most of the time, which is actually a very healthy position. There's nothing at all wrong or worse or better about any of these positions. They're all good, and it's good to vary your position, whenever you feel like it, because it just helps your body have have different areas of circulation. So this is what this is like a restorative, a good side resting position. And what I have a bolster between my knees, and I also have one knee is in front of the other, and it doesn't matter whether the top or the bottom is in front of the other, but one of them don't have the knees like exactly over each other, parallel like that, because if you do that, your hips are going to press down into the hard surface, and that's going to be painful and actually out of alignment. So the main thing, you can use a bolster or a body pillow or a pillow between your knees, and you don't have to either way. I mean, you can get used to either way, but whatever you do, whenever you're sleeping on your side, one knee is in front of the other, and also can be above or below as well as in front. So you can do it that way, and you can also do it that way. And you can see that I have this this pillow here is keeping my neck in alignment here. So I use this, and I have my arm under here, and this might not work forever. This could push down on my arm and my arm fall asleep and lose circulation, but it's just one way that can be done. The other way is I have to make the pillow a little bigger. I just kind of fold it in half, and now there's no pressure on this arm. It's not being pushed by the pillow, but my head is in the same position as it was when I was using my arm for the pillow. It's a part of the pillow. So this is another way to do side sleeping. And these are very relaxing positions. I'm practically falling asleep while I'm doing the video because they're basically restorative yoga. Because when you put your body in certain positions it responds energetically, and there's some of these positions that are used to, you know, basically renew your energy and for relaxing. So that's the side. This is the other side. You can get a back view what it looks like. So I have my knees are separate from each other, one in front of the other, one above or below the other. That makes the hips not be just pressing down. You want the hip to be sort of sideways, so it's not pushing into the surface. It's the most important thing to know about this whole process. And you can also rotate your torso. You can like, I mean, this is actually you can experiment and do different things. Like I'm just gonna rotate my shoulders like this, and so that's like another position. And it's just really amazing what can be done with actually combining restorative yoga and sleep. And you can play around. There's so many things you can do other than just sink down into the soft mattress and just, you know, get lost and lose touch with your body. So like for instance, you can you can do something like this. Like here's another thing. Like you can do things even just for like a few minutes sometimes that are creative, and they can stretch certain parts of your body, which just feels good, and it can help you fall asleep. Okay, so those are a few of the sleep positions, and I showed you how to get up and down, like this. So you know you're gonna have to do that if you're sleeping on the floor. You're gonna have to get up and down, and you're also gonna have to do, you know, bend over to either make your bed or put your bed away. So in that you're gonna want to be able to get into the squat position if you can. You can always, you know, do it in kneeling position like this, or squat position. Just because you sleep on the floor, it doesn't mean that you have to put your bed away at night. You can make a nice sleeping place for yourself and keep it out during the day. You can use it for, you know, floor seating during the day, or day a day bed or couch, and you can create like a little frame. It's good. It's really good to have your bed somewhat off the floor for air circulation. The body puts out condensation at night through perspiration, and you want that to be able to air to circulate underneath the bed. And so some kind of slatted platform frame can do that. And I've actually designed something that you can buy off my website at footlooseandchairfree.com, and it's called the Eco Square. So the Eco Square is basically a little slatted frame. This measures 30 inches by 40 inches, and it comes with legs, so you can actually make it off the floor with legs, and you know, if you want it off the floor and still get the firm surface, or you can put it on the floor like I do, and you can keep it out during the day. Like I said, and create a bed that's on the floor that you don't have to put away and make every single night. So it would basically look something like this. Put your paleo pad on top, or whatever you want to use, and so that's how the Eco Square works. And you can use your bolsters against the wall if you have a wall, and create a little seating area, hangout area for the daytime.